Cultivating a Revolutionary Spirituality. That is Module 4 in our Life After Religion course. I do a lot of poking around. There's a lot of areas of interest that I have. One particular area that I've done quite a bit of reading and research in is social revolutions and movements. In fact, when I was writing the book Inner Anarchy, I did quite a bit of investigation into anarchism and ran across several very interesting figures throughout history who espoused various principles and mindsets and mentalities of anarchism. I'd like to open this video in Module 4 by quoting a very notable anarchist from history, Alexander Berkman. This is what he wrote. The social revolution means much more than the reorganization of conditions only. It means the establishment of new human values and social relationships, a changed attitude of human to human as of one free and independent to his or her equal. It means a different spirit in individual and collective life, and that spirit cannot be born overnight. It is a spirit to be cultivated, to be nurtured and reared as the most delicate flower it is. For indeed, it is the flower of a new and beautiful existence. What an awesome and profound statement by Alexander Berkman about social revolution. And I would like to break that down and discuss some pieces of it as it relates to this Module 4, Cultivating a Revolutionary Spirituality. Berkman speaks of social revolution. And social revolution is always a bottom-up revolution which is aiming to reorganize all of society. It is an admission that the current order is not working. As things stand right now, there are false beliefs, mindsets, narratives, and ideologies that are governing our lives and our world. And cultivating a revolutionary spirituality first must include recognizing that these false mindsets and mentalities are present inside of each of us individually. They are poured in us from an early age through religion, education, government, popular culture, media. These falsehoods have been programmed into our heads, and we have been socialized into systems and structures that operate upon them. And so this cycle is complete once we follow suit and we begin to perpetuate those same false mindsets and mentalities and narratives and ideologies and systems and structures, when we perpetuate those ourselves. And so the first step in social revolution, the first component of developing a revolutionary spirituality, is rooting out the falsehoods within ourselves. It is accepting how we have been complicit in creating and perpetuating these falsehoods, or what Orwell calls the empire of lies. So Berkman sees social revolution as something that's deeper than just rearranging the same furniture in a different configuration, which, by the way, is often seems what government and politics does. Whatever party it is that happens to be in place, it sometimes just seems like it's a reshuffling, a rearranging of the same old thing. But Berkman spoke of something different. Being a spiritual revolutionary is not rearranging the same stuff in a different configuration. It's what Berkman spoke of. It's establishing new human values, new social relationships. Did you read that? New, different, as in something that does not currently exist, as in birthing a new reality in our world that operates upon a whole new way of being human and a whole new way of being in relationship with each other. Now, what is the source of this new way? What is the source of this transformed way of being and relating? Well, a better question might be, where is this source? And the answer to that question is that the source is inside you and inside me and inside all of us. There is a life, a spirit, a consciousness, a tacit understanding, a higher awareness. Insert your word here, whatever that is. But it runs through all of us. It's what we know to be true in our deepest feelings and in our gut. So that is the source. That is where we find that source for a new and transformed way of being human and relating to each other. It is a direct and unmediated experience of peace, liberation, love, harmony, oneness, joy, abundance, and well-being. That source within us, that life, that higher awareness knows nothing of fear, hatred, separation, division, greed, injustice, oppression, scarcity, or lack. One of the central tenets of the empire of lies is to mistrust what lies within us. Religion and other societal institutions have taught us to externalize power, to externalize authority to people and systems and structures and hierarchies outside of ourselves, right? So we learn to trust and obey the school teacher, the minister, the politician, the doctor, and the countless number of experts who we allow to do our thinking and deciding for us. And by the way, ours is a representative democracy, not a direct democracy. And there is a difference. So let's just say that we turn to the power and the authority that is inherent within each of us, and we tapped into that higher awareness that points us toward peace, harmony, and liberation instead of fear, separation, and greed. What if we reach down into what is real in our deep feelings and what we know to be true in our gut, and we started speaking to one another and acting from that place? I mean, what would that actually look like? And Berkman in that quote described, the way he described it is this: a different spirit in individual and collective life. Now that makes sense. Operating from our higher awareness would transform what it meant and looked like to be human individually and collectively in our social relations with each other. Berkman is describing a new world being born and becoming real. However, he pointed out that this reality of world, he said, cannot be born overnight. Instead, he said that it had to be cultivated and nurtured and reared. Social revolution and birthing a new world isn't something that happens all at once. It's not going to fall out of the sky or magically appear. We're going to have to cultivate, nurture, and rear it. In other words, we're going to have to take direct action individually and collectively to make the empire of lies obsolete and birth a new world in its place. And so the Module 4 activity is all about that. It's all about taking direct action. It's all about beginning to cultivate and nurture and tend to and rear that revolutionary spirituality. This is why I have been speaking out about the need for inner anarchy. Inner anarchy is the path of deprogramming ourselves from the false beliefs, mindsets, narratives, and ideologies, and turning toward that guidance and empowerment of our higher spiritual awareness. It's divesting ourselves from the current order that operates upon all those falsehoods and creating a new reality in its place through direct action individually and collectively. Both the inner world and the outer expression are equally important. And one without the other is not going to work. There are some people who kind of come at the equation of revolutionary spirituality more from the spiritual or inner side, and there are others who come at it more from the activist or outer focus side of things. Think of this as the yin and the yang. The two are integral to one another and form a whole. They both are equally necessary and cannot be separated from each other. Berkman said that the outcome of all this was a new and beautiful existence. That's what we're shooting for. That is the result of a revolutionary spirituality. That's what happens when we turn away from those falsehoods we've been indoctrinated into, and instead we turn towards that other source, that other authority that's within us, and we speak from it, we take direct action from it individually and collectively. A new and beautiful existence. Or as Jesus spoke of it, as the kingdom of God or the kingdom of heaven. So yes, another world is possible. In fact, Jesus said that world is already present inside of us. The only thing left to do is to lift it up out of ourselves into the world through our individual and collective action. So the only question is there enough of us who are truly willing to take the path of inner anarchy all the way? People are all gung-ho until they realize or experience how discomforting at times and destabilizing it can be in the short term. The old order is not going to go away quietly into the night, and we're not going to figure out how to sort out a new social order based on our higher awareness in a week. This is not a fast food revolution. Everyone wants a new world until they are confronted with the fact that many of our comfortable and prized ways of ordering ourselves do not really line up with that higher awareness within us. It doesn't all add up. And so there are some challenges and a sort of personal cost to each of us individually to really give birth to this new and beautiful existence. Berkman stated that it would be a changed attitude of human to human as one who is free and independent to his or her equal. And so he spoke of a real bottom-up revolution where each of us began to operate out of that source and life that is within each of us. that we take responsibility for this world, and we begin to slowly nurture and tend to and cultivate and rear a revolutionary spirituality by taking direct actions as individuals and collectively. This is what ultimately leads to that new and beautiful existence. And so we have the higher awareness to do this. We have that kingdom of heaven that is within us. It's all there. And so the only real question is, do we have the guts to do it? Do we have the guts to truly cultivate a revolutionary spirituality? Do we have the guts to really look at ourselves and deprogram ourselves and divest ourselves from the empire of lies that operates within us or that we participate in society? Are we willing to do that? Are we willing to truly listen and trust and speak and act from that spirit within us? Do we have the guts to do all that? You know, if it was a simple and easy thing, everybody would be doing it. This is what Jesus did, and Jesus encountered a lot of resistance and difficulty and ultimately lost his own life as a result of confronting the religious and cultural and political hierarchies of his day and standing for truth and speaking and living from his higher awareness. So we must encourage one another along in this. It cannot be only individual action. It must be collective. We must connect and work together. But a great place to start is in the Module 4 activity. And so take some time and focus on that. It's a very vigorous activity, which requires you to do some real thinking about what revolutionary spirituality might look like for you. And more importantly, it challenges you to begin to take some very tangible and direct actions around some of these ideas that you create in that activity on revolutionary spirituality. So let's build this new and beautiful existence together. Let's see this new world. Let's lift it up out of ourselves because this is something that we can do. And I hope that as a result of this module, that is what's it's going to hopefully stimulate a social revolution from the bottom up that is really born out of that kingdom of heaven that is within each of us, and that will help birth that new and beautiful existence into our world.